Hi everyone, Sarah here. Welcome to another video tutorial here at Mrs. Lincoln's Inkin. So this whole past week I have been making cards that the colors came from the Color Coach here, and this is what the Color Coach is. And basically, just a quick rundown on what it is this Color Coach helps me get outside of the box and use different colors in a combination that I might not put together normally. So it has all of the Stampin' Up! Colors in here. The in colors come separately. You have to buy those packs separately, and then you can just replace colors, take them out, put them in as the color families change. So you would just pick a color, like let's say you wanted to use Elegant Eggplant. If you turn it around over here, then it gives you suggestions of color combos to use with the Elegant Eggplant. So this is what I've been showcasing all this past week. So and these are the cards that you've seen on my blog, and I wanted to show you how to make this cute little box to hold them in, also using the Color Coach. And this box right here is using colors from the Coach, and I will have all the colors on the supply list for today's video for this box as well, because this box wasn't showcased this week. So let's go ahead and get started. So the colors that I'm using today for my project is going to be based on the basic gray. So again, I flipped my card over, and we're using basic gray, Melon Mambo, and Old Olive. So first, what you need for the base of your card, which is what I'm using my basic gray for, this measures 11 by 8 1/4. So you're only cutting off just a smidgen right there on the end. Let me grab my scoreboard here. I forgot to grab it. So what we need to do first is with your 11-inch side, excuse me, at the top, we need to score at 5 1/4 and 7. So 5 1/4, like this, and 7. All right, so now we need to flip it around. So now our 8 1/4 is at the top, and we need to score at 1 3/4 and 6 1/2. Okay, so now we can put our scoreboard away for a minute. We're going to need it later, so don't put it too far. Okay, so now it should look like this with our score marks here. So what we need to do now is we need to reinforce all of our score lines. Remember, when we do any sort of 3D project, box, anything, it's always very important to reinforce your score lines because it's going to make it fold that much easier. Once your score lines are reinforced, then what we need to do is we need to cut on these score lines right here up to this score line. Now what I like to do when making boxes and things like that, I like to notch out the score line there. And what I mean by that is I like to cut on one side of the score line, and then I like to cut on the other side of the score line. So it gives me that little gap. See, like that. It doesn't go flush. And this again is something, a little trick that I've learned along the way that helps your boxes or your projects go flush together when you're gluing them. So see, it looks just like that. Alright, so we're going to do this to all of our score lines here on our little boxes that we created. Alright, there we go. Perfect. So now it should look like that. Once that's done, what we need to do is we need to adhere our box together. So essentially, this is what our box is going to look like. Just like that. How simple is that? With the little in the front. So what I like to do first is I like to put adhesive right here on these boxes. So my score lines are folded like this, so you want to put the adhesive on this side of the boxes. For this project, I really like using the Tumbo glue because it gives you some leeway that if things aren't straight, you can move them around before, you know, it really sticks. So then we're just going to take our squares here and we're going to fold them up, bringing our larger side on the square. And then hold it for a second. Bring this one in and fold it up, making sure it's straight, and then all you have to do is hold it for a second. See? Perfect. And if you get a little excess, you know, squeezing out of there, it's alright, no biggie. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive on these two flaps right here. Just like that. And then again, we're going to bring these up, make them flush. There, see, that's why I like the glue. If that even got in the camera, I wasn't flush, so using the glue allowed me to move it around a little bit. And then there you go. How cute and pretty stinking simple. Cute, cute, cute. So with stuff like this, I like to take my bone folder, if I can find it in my mess here, and I just like to go on the inside and rub this down. Give it a nice good, to make sure that that Tumbo glue is really sticking. There. So then that's what our box looks like. Cute, cute. So now to get the slopes right here on our box, I'm telling you, there is no science about it. You're just going to take your paper snips and you're just going to go from the bottom to the top where you want it. Just like that. And that's what gives you your slope. So you can have them as as slopey or not as slopey, if that's even a word, as you want. But I would suggest using the big scissors for it, or a pair of larger scissors, because you don't want to have to cut. You want it to be one nice clean cut, so you want longer scissors for that. So then there is our box. So now for the banner or the belly band around our box, this is where our Melon Mambo comes in. And this strip measures 3 by 11, and then I used the Modern Melody DSP, and this measures 2 3/4 by 11. And I already went ahead and adhered this together because we're going to be doing some scoring. So grab my scoreboard again. And I find that if you adhere these two pieces together first and then score, it makes it a little bit easier. So now this part gets a little bit tricky, this next step here. What we need to do is we do not want our strip here to be flush against the board first. I found that if you move it down to the very first notch there, so right, I hope you can see that. So here's the edge, and then here's the very first notch right there. That is where you want your cardstock to begin for the first score line. So once it's on that first notch right there, you're going to go ahead and score at 1 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because our scoreboard is in eighths, and we're going to make one score mark at that 1 7/8 spot. And you kind of got to press firmly because you're going through two pieces of paper. So once you've made that score mark right there, we're going to move our piece of paper now down flush with our board right there. So once it's now flush, we're going to score at 3 5/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, making sure to do it a few times. Then we're going to score at 8 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And then 10 2/8. Now I know it looks funny because it's not even, whatsoever. excuse me, you have a score mark here, if you can see that, and then you have all of this gap right here, and then down here you have your end score mark and just this little teeny tiny gap. And that's kind of how it's supposed to be. So never fear if it's like that. It's a weird scoring pattern, but I haven't found an easier way to do it yet. So this is just what I came up with. If you have an easier way, please feel free to share your dimensions and scoring marks with me. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so once we have this on there, see, it fits perfectly. Love it. Now, this does not bother me personally, because when you set this up, it's normally against a wall or, you know, things like that. There is no paper to make it go all the way around unless you attach 2 pieces of paper. So this is why I said these score marks here, they don't bother me, because you're not going to see the back anyway, and I'd rather have the front and the sides all nice and flush and pretty. So again, if you come up with something different, I would love to hear your measurements. So once that's all folded, we're just going to go ahead and open this, and again I'm using the Tumbo glue because it's forgiving. And I'm just going to put my glue all over here, making sure to get it nice and good and coated. Stick this down here. There we go. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to take my box and I'm going to put my score lines on there where I want them, where they measure up. Fold it around, and then hold it for a couple of seconds. And then look, your belly band on your box is almost perfect, as long as you don't flip it over. Alright, so again, I'm going to take my bone folder here and I'm going to rub it on the back, making sure that those 2 flaps are good. Flip it over to the side, to the front. Oops, see, this one's popping off. Just needs to be held down some more. No worries. And then if you notice that your Tumbo glue isn't quite sticking as well as you'd want it to, which I find sometimes that it doesn't, especially on, you know, heavy cardstock, you can always take glue dots and glue dot your corners down if those are what's puffing up. But there you go. Perfect. Okay, so now we have our next color, which is Old Olive. So I've gone ahead and used my Secret Garden die, and I cut out some leaves using the Old Olive because these are going to be part of my decoration for the front of my box. I cut out 4 of the Flower Shop flowers using the Pansy Punch, and these are in Melon Mambo, so it stays in with our colors. And then for my greeting, I'm using the I Think You're Lovely image, which is part of the celebration right now that you can get for free with a purchase of $50 or more in product. That's before shipping and handling and tax. Love this set. I use it a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of build my, what I want, you know, my corner to look like here. So there's no rhyme or reason, right or wrong. I'm just going to kind of build it together here. You know, put some flowers. That looks good to me. So take my snail here, put them together on my leaves. And I'm trying to hurry now because I feel like I'm running out of time on my video because they can only be so long. And then get some adhesive on these ones right here. I think I want this one to go this way and be a little bit taller, like this. Get some flowers in there. That looks good, so I'm going to stick these flowers down right here, like that. Then I'm going to stick this one down because I want the top one to be on a dimensional, I think. and have a little bit of, and I don't like that right there. So I'm just going to take my scissors here and I'm just going to clip it off. Voila. Like that. Put it right there. Now you want to make sure on these kind of projects though that you don't have anything hanging over the side right here, because then it won't sit flush. And then I'm going to take this and a dimensional. Pop this up. Right there. And then I'm going to take my greeting, and I think I want my greeting to go right, that looks good. And again on some dimensionals. There. Cute, cute, cute. And there you go. So there is our card box, and then our cards fit in here ever so nicely like that. And there you go. So here is our 2 card boxes using the Color Coach. I really hope you enjoyed today's project. I hope you visit again, and until next time, happy inking!